Hi, welcome to this week's episode of Cool Chiefs. I have a makeup expert with us, Elise Marquam Jahns, and I'm very excited because we're going to talk eye makeup in midlife. For those of you who don't know who I am, have not seen a previous episode, I'm Perez, and I'm the founder and CEO of Kuel, and that is spelled all cattywampus with a K, so it's Kuellife. And Cool Life is an online community and curated shopping experience for us ladies in midlife. I curate and find products by women, for women, looking for and working with the bravest women I know, which are entrepreneurs. So if you haven't had a chance to go out there and check out the shop, you can shop small from the comfort of your own home, support another woman, and get something incredibly unique and well-made. But before we dive into the meat of eye makeup, I would love Elise to do her own introduction because I won't do it justice. Elise, can you introduce yourself to the Cool Life community and give us a little bit about how you ended up being, a makeup artist and makeup expert, and in particular, your interest in helping us ladies in midlife?
Absolutely. First off, to say, Jack, I'm so excited about what you're doing with Cool Life.
Thank you.
It's an amazing site for women 45 up, and I'm very grateful that you're doing it on behalf of a lot of other women, I'm sure. But let me tell you a little bit why I put this in air quotes. I actually retired 6.5 years ago after spending 35 years with the public television station in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And about a year before I retired, I was watching a program which maybe you and some of our listeners are familiar with, called What Not to Wear. Do you happen to remember that? It was on the Learning Channel. It was hosted by a man and a woman, Stacy and Clinton, and they helped women who were nominated by friends and family as being, quote, style challenged. And they would bring them to New York. They would help them shop for a whole new wardrobe based on what would be most flattering for them. But the part that always excited me the most was in the middle of the program, they had a hairstylist come on, it's usually a woman that they were helping, and usually an older woman, give a new hairstyle, and they had a makeup artist by the name of Carmody who would give them a whole new look. And what Carmody did that was so wonderful was she wouldn't let the woman see what she was doing. She would keep her in the dark, basically, and then at the end, a big reveal, turn her around to face a mirror, and then the woman would see this transformation. And it was so moving so often because so many of these women were just stunned by what they could look like. Right. And often I was close to tears watching this, and the women on the show were close to tears sometimes. And there was one particular episode with a woman named Belinda. And when I watched that makeover, a light just went on for me and said, this is what I want to do in my next act. I want to help women my age, younger, older, 45 up, look their best, because frankly, it's my feeling that the beauty industry pretty much ignores us, except for anti-aging products that are usually demonstrated by a model who has not a wrinkle in sight, right?
Right, so it doesn't need the Botox, right? It's like, okay, really, you're 20-something. Why are you putting Botox in your face?
Exactly, exactly. So that's what launched the whole thing. I just read everything I could get my hands on. I had some private lessons with a particular makeup artist. I've worked part-time for a major cosmetics company as a makeup artist for the last 6 years. But 5 years ago, launched my own business, Boomer and Beyond Beauty, and teach classes, in-person classes. And this fall, I hope to launch a YouTube channel specifically on makeup techniques for women 45 plus.
Well, I can't wait for you to do that, because we've talked about about that being part of the Cool Life offering, is having those classes available to our Cool Life community, which I think is great. And I didn't get a chance to tell everyone, but Elise is one of our regular bloggers. She blogs in the beauty and fashion section of Cool Life, always providing amazing, insights and techniques. So if you haven't had a chance to read any of her blogs, please go out to Cool Life under beauty and fashion, or you can type Elise Marquam Jahns in the search button and all her blogs will come out. She writes regularly for us. So we're pretty lucky to have her, because like when we were younger, we would wear makeup. I know I wore makeup to try to look older, right? So whatever I know is from when I was younger. Well, I don't want to look older now. So you can tell I don't even wear eye makeup because I don't think I know how to put it on without looking old. So can we dive into the meat of it?
Absolutely.
Show us,
Absolutely.
can you show us what we should be doing now that we're not trying to sneak into a bar underage?
You know, you touched on something really important. I've talked to hundreds of women over the last few years, and when I asked them when they learned how to put on makeup, how old were they and who taught them? It's always, I was in junior high, I was in high school, I was in college, and a sister maybe looking at 17 magazine, whatever it happened to be, on how they learned. But we're still doing the same things, and why wouldn't we? Because how do we know what to do differently? So anyway, that's what we're here to do today. So I'm going to just start off quickly and talk a little bit about eyebrows, because eyebrows frame our eyes, and they're so crucial, because what happens as we get older is that we lose the contrast in our face. Our eyebrows get lighter usually, they get sparser, and the more contrast we have, the more attractive we are. And that's actually according to two very interesting research studies that have been done. So what we need to do is fill in those eyebrows. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the makeup jack on one side, on one eye.
Okay.
And so bear with me here as I do that. And as far as eyebrows, as you can see, mine are quite gray, and I have lost a lot of the tail area, which tends to happen.
I have as well too, and I use an eyebrow pencil also because, and also I don't know about you, but you know, we're old enough now that we were around when really thin eyebrows. Do you remember when we were young, Brooke Shields was super popular, so everyone had really big eyebrows, and then there was a period of time where everyone had super thin eyebrows, and unfortunately, if you plucked or waxed your eyebrows a lot in your youth, you're kind of hosed now because they won't grow back as well.
Often they don't grow back, but the wonderful news with eyebrows is it's one of the easiest things to remedy. Eyebrow powder is probably the quickest and easiest thing to use. However, if they're sparse and you need to cover skin in that eyebrow area, it doesn't adhere as well to the skin. So a pencil or a pomade, a cream, probably works a little bit better. Because I want to do this, I want to do a quick, easy, natural look, the fastest kind of look that most of us would want to do. I'm just taking a gel. And this,
what kind of gel do you use? Or
this particular one is a Charlotte Tilbury product. And a lot of gels, they keep the hair in place because sometimes our brow hairs get wiry. That's another wonderful, interesting thing that happens.
Just to match our chin hair that gets like, what the heck? I don't even understand, right?
Exactly.
Like, terrible.
I've learned to carry a tweezers in my glove compartment because that's when I always see them, right?
Oh, the minute you get in your car, the light in the car, and you fix the rearview mirror, and you're like,
oh my gosh. Exactly. So the one thing about brow gels is some have more pigment than others. This one has quite a bit of pigment, which I love. It's fast and easy. As you see, I'm just going. Now I have a sort of a scraggly upper brow line, but if I wanted just a natural look, I'm just not going to worry about that a whole lot. And I'm just going to put that on it. Now, if I were going to an event or something, I would probably use a cream pomade where I could just outline that upper brow that I want and fill it in. But I'm going to use a spoolie, and I'm sure you're familiar with this. It's what looks like a mascara wand.
Yes.
And often they come at the end of a eyebrow pencil.
Which is, in that eyebrow pencil, that is angled, right?
Yes. That is absolutely the best kind of brush to use for eyebrows, is an angled brush. And if you can find one that has a spoolie at the other end, that just makes it a whole lot easier. And the spoolie, what it does is as you brush it through the product on your eyebrow, it makes it look more natural. It picks up any excess product. And it really makes a huge difference. So those are two really important tools with eyebrows.
Yeah.
So the next thing I want to talk about is the eye area itself. And of course, all of us have different eye shapes. We have a different amount of real estate from our eyelashes to our brows.
You have a lot of eyelid. Like I have a lot of eyelid. I have a lot of eyelid. I mean, It's
And there's good and bad on both sides of
That's
that
what I was
issue.
gonna say. I mean, it's
Yeah.
in my youth, it was awesome. Now it's starting to get a little bit like, maybe we could take a little less. Maybe we could like take a little eyelid off, you know?
Exactly, exactly. There's that wonderful hooded eye situation that starts to happen. Some of us are just born with it. Some of us are just lucky enough to develop it later in life. But one of the interesting things that we can do with our eye area, now I know you don't have this issue, but a lot of us do, and that's a lot of us get discoloration on our eyelids.
Okay.
And that discoloration can obviously have it look like we have more aging eyes. And so one of the things I really recommend to women is to use an eyeshadow primer or eyeshadow base.
Okay.
And what this does is it not only keeps eyeshadow on for 24 hours without creasing or smudging or anything,
Okay.
but if you get one that matches your skin tone, and that's the key, and they
Right.
do make darker ones, they do make lighter ones, what that does, and I'll just show you quickly. I'm just going to put a little bit of this on. This is a cream product. This happens to be a drugstore one I found that's amazingly inexpensive and works.
Okay, well, tell our audience, tell our ladies which one that is, because
I will.
you know, I hate the fact, you know, the idea that every single makeup product has to be, you know, a $20, $30, $50 makeup product can be really uninviting and just
Exactly.
unattainable for some of us.
Yes.
I mean, it's
And
just
so many makeup products can be multitasking makeup products that we don't think about. For instance, you can use bronzer, or you can use eyeshadow for eyeliner. You can use bronzer as eyeshadow. I mean, and we can use blush in our eyeshadow area too.
actually that's what I do, because I told you I've stayed away. I'm gonna probably try I'm gonna definitely try what you're doing now, but I've stayed away from that. So what I'll do is I'll just put a little blush on, and then I'll put a little blush just so that there's not like this weird contrast of
Yes.
like super white or dark eyes, you know.
That's perfect, because if you put a little of that same blush on your cheeks and your eyes, it just sort of pulls the whole face look together. It's a wonderful way to go.
Yeah.
So this is to let you know what this product is. It's by Essence. It's a drugstore product.
Okay.
It's called I Love Stage eyeshadow base.
Okay.
And I can't remember the exact price, but it's under $10. It's really a one, and it will last forever. There's a lot in here.
Okay.
So this is a product, and because I'm going to be using eyeshadow powder,
Okay.
and you can use creams, you can use sticks, you can use anything that works best for you. The reason I particularly like powder is because you can be more precise with it, quite honestly. So I'm going to stick with powder for today, but a cream stick eyeshadow can be a quick and easy way to go as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some translucent powder that I have. You can use pressed powder, you can use translucent powder, whatever you have on hand. And what I'm going to do, because I used a cream eyeshadow base, I'm putting this powder just lightly on over it, because if I tried to put powder eyeshadow on over a cream base, it's going to tug and pull. Some areas are going to be darker or lighter than other areas.
Okay.
So this really helps make it so your powder eyeshadow will just glide on easily. So it may seem like an extra step, but boy, it makes a huge difference. It makes it a whole lot easier.
Basically, what you're doing is sort of preparing the canvas for
Exactly.
the actual color. Okay, that makes sense.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
that makes sense. Like you're preparing the canvas. That's okay. So are you now going to do the?
Now we're going to go to the shadow itself. And the key with the shadow is the kinds of brushes you use and where you put it and the color that you use. So normally, I think most of us grew up thinking that we put dark shadow across our lids. I think that was sort of the standard look.
Yeah.
But what that does is, if we remember back to our art classes, dark colors make things recede, light colors make things come forward.
Right.
We want our eyes to look bigger and brighter. So I'm using a product that's actually a brightening powder. It's a highlighter, but I'm using it because it doesn't have glitter, it doesn't have shine, but it's sort of a vanilla color. And you have to find something that sort of matches your skin tone, that doesn't contrast too much with your skin tone. But what I'm going to do with this lighter color, this vanilla color, is I'm going to put that all over just the lid area from the lashes up to the crease area of the eye. So what that does is it opens up that eye area.
I can already see that. I mean, I can already see the difference, right?
Good. Okay. Where I'm also going to use this, and I'm just going to quickly take a little smaller brush. I don't know if you can see
Yeah,
that
I know.
well.
I know where you're going to put it.
This is, yeah. So this is a trick that most of us know. We're going to put it right under the arch of the eye because that helps lift the eye. The other place is we sort of get this dark cave area on the corner.
I so have that problem. I mean, seriously, like I keep saying I need more sleep, but I don't know if it's a sleep thing or if it's just an aging thing. Is it an aging thing?
Yes, it certainly can be. Some of us are just born with that, but definitely that area tends to get a little bit darker. So it just brightens up that area. Now, if you go on YouTube and you watch a lot of younger YouTubers, what they'll do is use some glittery colors in there. Doesn't work as well for us to go with a bright glitter, but just a matte vanilla color. And this is all matte shadow that I'm using, by the way. And so that, I'm glad you can see that that does make the eye, does open the eye a little bit more.
Yes.
So then I'm going to take some, I'm going to hold up this palette I'm using. And by the way, it used to be that drugstore eyeshadows were really hit and miss, and a lot of times didn't work terribly well because they weren't highly pigmented. But they've really upped their game. There are a lot of good drugstore eyeshadow palettes now. I'm using one that's kind of middle of the road. It's not high end, it's not drugstore, it's sort of somewhere in between, but it's wonderful. It has high pigmentation. It blends so easily. There's not a lot of fallout. It's a brand called Juvia's Place, and I absolutely love it. Anyway, this is an all matte eyeshadow palette, as you can see.
I've never heard of that brand. Where do you get that? Is that like a Sephora thing?
Well, the all matte one, they do carry it now at Ulta, but unfortunately they don't carry the all matte one in the stores. You have to order it online. But just a tip, Juvia's Place has incredible sales quite often. So if you can hit their sale, you can often get an eyeshadow palette for $8 or $9. That's amazing.
And that's just online. So it's
Juvia, Juvia apostrophe S, Juvia's Place.
Okay.
And just have gorgeous products.
Okay, I'll put that in the underneath in the comments for ladies if you guys want to check out the website. And this is like completely non-sponsored. I mean, this is because
I don't get any commission from them, and you don't get any commission.
No, I didn't even know what they were until you told me. So, but if it works, I'm happy to share it because that's what Cool Life's about. It's about sharing relevant information for all of us. So yeah.
Another one, just a quick mention, and many of you probably already know about this because it's been around for a long time, is It Cosmetics makes an all matte, just called Naturally Pretty eyeshadow palette. A beautiful array of colors, and again, goes on beautifully, smoothly, pigment really nice and high. It is more expensive, but anyway, those are sort of my two go-to products. So I'm going to take a medium, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to take a medium, a lighter and a darker, and sort of mix these two. They're sort of medium tone browns. Most of us, no matter what our eye color, can work with neutrals, and they look great on us. Especially people with blue eyes can wear browns. It makes your eyes pop. But for most of us, for a natural look, you stick with neutrals. I mean, there's some beautiful ways you can make your eyes pop with other colors, but for an everyday kind of regular look, I think most of us want to stick with sort of a more neutral kind of look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brush that is a little bit longer, and it's also very flexible. This is not a firm brush at all. The reason for that is I want to get this in the crease of my brow. I'm going to start in the middle because I have the most product on at the beginning. I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to do, we all think to use windshield wiper motions, which is fine, but also you want to use little circular motions, because if we have any texture, or let's face it, crepiness, right, in that eye area, sometimes you can miss it if you just do the windshield wiper motion. So, and what I'm doing also is at the end, I'm going up slightly because, you know, we're always working against gravity in the makeup business. So, especially on eyes like mine that are way over 45.
In midlife, working against gravity is an everyday, all day ordeal.
Exactly.
I don't think you can just own it in the makeup industry.
No.
While Elise is doing the little circular motions and the windshield wiper motions, ladies, if you have any other areas that you would like Elise to address, either through her blogs on Cool Life and or in another session, because we are sort of nearing the end of this one, please write them in the comments. We'll circle back around. We promise. She'll promise to address it. I'll also put her email at the bottom. If you want to email her directly what topics you might want discussed, either in a video or in the blogs for Kuel Life. We have her expertise, so we should take advantage of it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. What the other thing that is really helpful to do is on the outer V of the eye, I'm going to make kind of a backward 7. I'm going to start at the lash line and just go up and then meet. Again, I'm making this a little bit higher because I want to lift the eye. Okay, and then, of course, as everybody knows, the key thing with eyeshadow is to blend, blend, blend. And I'm using a very fluffy brush to do that. Okay. It's a bigger brush than maybe some people would use, just because you and I have a lot of eye space. If you have less eye space, I have
to use a big one too if I blend, because if not, then it doesn't really work. So.
Yeah. And the wonderful thing about, again, this is a multitasking. If you get a small angled brush, and I'll, whoops, I'm grabbing the wrong one here. But if you get a small angled brush like you use for eyebrows, you can also use that as an eyeshadow brush. And you can take a dark brown color, and you can just put it on an angled brush and go along the lash line for a little eyeliner, and that just adds a little bit more emphasis to the eyes, but it looks soft and natural as opposed to using like a black heavy duty liner.
I can't use those anymore. If I use that, people go, did you get enough sleep?
It looks too harsh on most of us. Right. And also, if you put the shadow on, or if you use a regular eyeliner pencil, smudge it with a Q-tip or with a smudger at the end of the eyeliner pencil, again, to make it look softer. It makes a big difference.
Like in high school, I used to take a match and melt my pencil a little bit to get like a real defined black line. Yes. Like, under no circumstance would I do that.
No.
No circumstance.
I hear you. And I think some of us have all been guilty of that. So I'm going to.
But it looked good when I was 16 or 17. It's just now it just, oh my goodness gracious. It's like, no, I would never do that. Never do that.
Exactly. Do we have time for a quick mascara tip or not?
Quick mascara tip, because I've been told these things are like 18, 20 minutes and people get really tired. So, but give us a quick mascara tip, and then, you know what? We can always come back and do another show. But yeah.
Perfect. What I want to show you real quickly, because using an eyelash curler makes a huge difference. And I know they sometimes feel like instruments of terror, but if you go down to the base of your eyelashes and lift your elbow and then hold on for 5 seconds and then stair step up your lashes until you get to the end, that will give you absolutely the best curl. Makes a huge difference.
I can see the difference. And do you just really quick, do you do that before or after the mascara?
You do it before. If you put mascara on first, sometimes you can break off lashes. So
okay, that's a good tip. So do not put mascara on and then put that instrument of torture on your eye.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, Elise, thank you so much for joining us today. And I can completely, I'm gonna try that, because I have all those products. I'm afraid to put them on because I've been doing it wrong. And once again, ladies, if you haven't had a chance to read Elise's blogs, please go out to Kuel Life. I will put the URL down here, and all you have to do is search Elise Marquam Jahns or look under beauty and fashion, and you will see much of her writing. And she writes every month, typically twice a month. So there's a wealth of information out there, and we will have her come back again. So send her an email or send me an email on other topics related to makeup, especially for ladies in midlife, and Elise will handle it. We'll let the expert handle it. Thank you so much for today, Elise.
Oh, my pleasure. So good to join you, and so excited about what you're doing with Kuel Life.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right.
You're welcome.
We'll talk soon.
Okay.